Welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast, episode 455. We're up to the third sequel in the Bad Boys franchise. We're up to Bad Boys 3 for Life from 2020. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate, introduce our intern.
Y'all already know. Intern is here. Scott, say hello to the people.
How y'all doing?
There he is. He's here. He's going to be reviewing some Bad Boys for Life. If you already heard the past episodes, he loves these movies. Big fan. Loves the Bad Boys. And so he'll be here for this one and a couple more episodes after this.
Oh, snap.
Oh, yeah.
All right, gentlemen, let's get into some of the financials for this movie because I was totally shocked. Now, this might be the most it made out of the first two films.
It is.
This was budgeted at $90 million. And I'm kind of shocked because I was like, wow, really? But anyway, $90 million, and it made $426 million worldwide.
In the year of COVID. It came out, I remember it came out like right before everything shut down. It came out like in February or something like
End
that.
of January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is before the slap that was heard around the world.
Yes, this is before all that.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think about these numbers?
I honestly thought it was shocking because the first two didn't make that much. Not even close.
Yeah, I'm shocked too on that one.
Yeah, and the budget, if you compare budget to profit, it was like a huge success.
It's super huge.
I was surprised.
Yeah, me too.
It is very shocking. Like at the end of everything, like I'm even pulling up number two, and number two was at $130 million budget.
Yeah, freaking 20 years earlier, like 17 years earlier.
Yep. And then it made 273 on 130. That's bizarre. That's really crazy. Like that's the thing that's like making me shocked. And then the first one was 19 million and it made 141 million.
Yeah.
So it's like a seesaw effect here. So yeah, I mean, one thing it does prove, number wise, that you really don't need a high budget to make a successful movie. If you have a good story, good action, it looked like people enjoyed it for what it was. So with that said, what did the critics and audience think about Bad Boys 3? Did they love it?
Yeah, if y'all thought those numbers were surprising, the Rotten Tomato scores are also very surprising. This has this is one of the biggest jumps from one movie to the next. I'm just going to say it right now. The critic score is plus 52% from the last movie. This has a 76% critic score. By far the highest of the first three movies. Obviously 52% higher than Bad Boys 2. I think like 20-something% higher than Bad Boys 1. The audience score is a plus 18%, but that brought it all the way to a 96. This has a 96% audience score, which is also the highest of the first three. So it is the most money, the best critics, and the best audience score for this whole franchise so far.
That's very, I don't know.
I'm shocked.
I'm super shocked, like in terms of those numbers.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I don't know. That's crazy. Well, let's get into it. Let's see if anything changes.
Well, I mean, we got new directors. No more Michael Bay. He has a cameo in this movie as like the wedding DJ guy. But we have Adil El Arbi, I don't know how to say his name, and Bilal Fallah. Now, these guys are from Belgium, okay? They're two Belgian directors, and this was like their first big sort of Hollywood movie. So I think that's interesting to point out before we because it feels different than the Michael Bay movies.
Oh, it does. In a lot of tones. But we'll talk about that. All right, so what do you guys, let's get into the characters. Mike Lowry's back, Will Smith, Martin Lawrence is back as Marcus. Now, they added a new team called Ammo, which we'll talk about. The captain is back to reprise his role. All right. So, Scott, you'll take it away. What do you think of the new dynamics of the new team inserted in the Bad Boys universe? But you take it away the way you want it.
So I just want to say real quick, first off, all right, when I saw this movie in theaters, after I came out, I was like, it was okay because I'm such a big fan of the first two, right? On the rewatch, I gave him a 5.
Oh my God!
No way! Like seeing it through. Yeah, no. Like if I would have saw this, if you were asking me when I came out of the theater in January in 2020, I would have been like maybe a 3. But after the rewatch, after seeing it again, I really enjoyed it. Like the chemistry was still there between them. The only part that I didn't like was they were separated for that time because Marcus didn't want to come back to being a cop. Yeah. And then Will Smith was out there with Ammo doing things on his own. Once they got back together, I mean, the comedy was just right there. All the good laughs and everything like that. Captain Howard was just as good as he always is, even though he's not in the movie as much as I think he was in the movie even less than he was in the last two. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So also, did you guys notice the Michael Bay cameo in the second movie as well?
Yeah, he was in the car.
in the
I
car.
just noticed that, and then I
Yeah.
just noticed the freaking at the wedding. I was like, oh shit, it's Michael Bay again. Yeah, Mike Lowry.
Uncle Mike.
But yeah, no, it was a 5. They definitely rekindled the magic that was the chemistry between Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett. But yeah, I give him a 5.
All right, Nate.
I'm going to agree with Scott on 2 things here. Number 1, I liked this movie. I feel like I liked it a lot better on this rewatch than I remember liking it when I first saw it. And I remember liking it. Like, I saw this at the theater and I was like, that movie was good. But I saw it in 4DX, which I hated. And because the chair was shaking all around and just going all crazy. So watching it this time, I haven't seen it in 5 years since the theater. And the other thing I'm going to agree with him with is I gave them a 5 as well. Now, I'm going to tell you why. If it was just them two, same movie, maybe a 4. I like Ammo, and I'll explain why. I think it adds a certain dynamic to them because they're older. I like the way they kind of play off of this young group that, because you remember they're called Ammo, and what was it, like TNT in Bad Boys 2 or whatever? You know, like
narcotics.
And yeah, and it's kind of like some other kind of weapon-based thing. They're the newbies. These guys are them in Bad Boys 1. You know what I mean? When they were young. Now they're old. They are old. And I kind of like I like how Vanessa Hudgens, she's a hottie, by the way. I love how Vanessa Hudgens is respectful of them. Like, that's Mike Lowry. And then the big white muscle guy is kind of like, he's cool, whatever. And then the Asian dude's just like always talking smack with him. I like the banter with him and Will Smith. I love their captain, also hot. I mean, out of this world. This movie is the hottest one as far as the ladies. I don't care. Vanessa Hudgens and that short-haired lady and the bad lady. Baddies. But yes, and then the dynamic between Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, still there. Agree, I don't love when they're separated. But this might have my favorite Martin Lawrence line of all 3 movies so far. When they're in the motorcycle and they're with the gun and he's like, they're talking about it and he's like, God sent you that web. He's like, Bad Boys of the Bible. It makes me laugh so hard. Bad Boys of the Bible is I wish they had a shirt, like a t-shirt of that. I'd buy it. So yeah, I gave him a 5. I think it would have been a 4 if they didn't add Ammo. I like them. I think it adds a little flavor. It keeps it from being stale.
Yeah. It's funny, when I got to see this in the theater, I remember enjoying this one more than the other ones. And I think you're right, Nate. I think the addition of the new characters helped because they always had the Spanish guys in the first 2 movies to bounce off, but those guys died in this movie, in this franchise. I believe they
Vargas
got killed.
did. Yeah.
The other guy probably just retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So, they needed a group of, someone to bounce off of. But the thing is they're 17 years later, so what more can you do with those characters, right? This dude is about to be a pops. Martin Lawrence is about to have he's about to be a grandparent. Will Smith is just doing his good old Mike Lowry stuff.
But he's kind of old. You know the part at the club where they're like, he's like, what?
Yeah, he got a tie.
Midnight Cocoa Bean in his beard.
That was funny. I don't know. I just felt like everything fell to place really good in this script. Now the Ammo characters, I was like, okay, it is what it is, but I thought it worked well. And especially picking on Mike, I think it worked. Because with Martin Lawrence, I don't think it would have worked well, him picking on them or them picking on him. I don't think it would work because he would have been cursing up a storm or whatever. But with Mike, it would work because Mike is always the sarcastic, the second. So it kind of worked there. And especially after the tragedy of him getting shot by his own son. So it kind of worked with that. The captain I liked a lot. I wish there was way more scenes with him.
He's always funny.
Yeah, he was I liked it a lot.
When she misses the shot and he said she has the family curse.
Yeah.
Because he missed the basketball in the first movie. Such a great callback to that moment.
Yeah, that was funny. And then the part that he's like, he goes, didn't I tell you not to investigate this thing? He goes, you know what? I'm going to put you on the team, but you're going to not investigate. You're just going to be a consultant. And consultant.
Yes.
That stuff worked. And I don't know. And my only nitpick is the fact that Martin never got more screen time with the captain. I felt like it was only Will Smith. Yeah. I know he retired, but it could have been another funny, maybe a scene there where the captain calls him going, is there a way that you could get this guy out of the force or something? You know what I mean? Something funny between them. Because I I kind of like the Captain and Martin together because they always had like that unique banter together.
You never see your wife again. That was with Martin. Yeah.
Or when Martin touched him in part 2 and he was like, well, it's not 2 o'clock at 2 a.m. yet. And I was like, what the hell is that supposed to mean from these two? So it was like a weird thing. But anyway, I gave it a 5. I thought the dynamics were there and I thought it worked very well. But I just hope it doesn't go down the formulaic route of these, but we'll talk about that. But anyway, with that said, 5 across the board here. Okay, now the main villains here. Now we have, all right, her name is the Brouhaha.
The Brouhaha, but Martin just keeps calling her the witch.
Yeah, he called her the witch. Well, no, he called her the Brouhaha.
La Bruja. It's Isabel La Bruja Aretas.
And then the son, Armando Artes.
Yes.
That's Will Smith's son.
Aretas.
Yes, Aretas. Yeah, Armando Aretas. So, Nate, what do you think of the bad guys in this movie?
Okay, this movie, I didn't like the villains in neither of the first 2 movies. This, to me, is the best villains of this franchise so far. It's personal. They're not just drug dealers, thank God, like the first 2 movies where it's just drug dealers. It's a revenge story, but it's like a reverse revenge story. You know what I mean? Where the villain is trying to get revenge on the heroes rather than the other way around. I like that tie. I like that they used Mike because he's the womanizer. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't make sense if it was Martin at all. So I think that was smart. I like the performances. Like, she's barely in it, but when her and Mike are on screen, I like it. And I thought the song was fine. You know what I mean? Like, he's meant to play it a certain way, kind of serious. But I gave them a 4. They're super. I mean, you can't say they're not formidable villains. Like, he kicked his butt in the first fight when they're at the hotel. And I like how Martin keeps bringing it up. He's like, that was a generational ass whooping. You know it's your son because he beat you. I like that. They kill a lot of people. You know what I mean? So I thought they were very good. Not a 5 for me because, I mean, while good, they're not like super memorable. Like, when I was watching this, I knew the son was the villain and her, but I kind of forgot some of the stuff. So I can't go with a 5, but I give him a 4.
All right. What you got, Scott?
I ended up giving him a 4. Yeah, I do like the dynamic that he is his son, and it's a woman that he slept with a long time ago. But it did make me question. I was like, wait a minute. In the first movie, they were like, I've been your partner for 6 years. Well, then I was thinking, okay, maybe, they weren't always partners in the very beginning because he was talking like this was at the beginning of his career. And I was like, well, then wouldn't Martin Lawrence know about this? But I don't know. That's just me speculating on everything. But yeah, no, I mean, he had a hit list of like everybody they knew and he was killing off everybody left and right. And not only that, this dude kept showing up in helicopters everywhere. There's freaking Martin Lawrence is like, where are they getting these helicopters from?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was a pretty neat twist. So yeah, I give him a 4.
All right. So, oh man, it is the best bad guys in the franchise. That I will say. I just did not like it was his son. I guess I'll talk about that more on the storyline, why. But in terms of the bad guy situation, I kind of understood why they did it, to give that whole like that big wow factor. But then like the Spanish lady, I thought it was cool. Like, again, gave you more backstory, but not much, like at all. Like, he tries to give it to you in like this quick 5-minute fucking thing when he's all depressed and he's sitting down on a wet floor and he's like telling him a story, and I was okay with it, but I just felt like I was like too much. I just felt like it was forced. If it was, I don't know, to me it just felt forced, the whole, because they didn't, again, for me, I need to see why. Like, give me 1990 starting the movie off when they were together. Whether it doesn't need to be Will Smith, it could have been a Jaden Smith. I don't give a fuck who it is. Could have been a younger version of Will Smith's character, and they were together, young love. And then you see why that happened years later. She's arrested with a bump in the stomach. I go, oh shit, she was pregnant. Then pin. You see the flashbacks of all the movies, and then it goes poof, present time. What you gonna do? Then you go, okay, cool. Like, that's the way I saw it. I just felt like it was just, for me, these type of storylines, characters are kind of like reachy, like very reachy for me. But I gave it a 4 because he did whip his ass. He did kill Captain Howard. The mom did fight Martin Lawrence. I mean, she tore him up with the glass.
She also stabbed that lady at the beginning, like, she tore. Yeah, she.
I
will say,
one
aspect that I agree with you a bit. I don't mind that it was his son, but the movie's no different if it's not his son. Like if it's just if that's his mom and Will Smith killed his real dad, let's say, the story's the same. He's still trying to get revenge on him. He's still trying to kill him. The only thing it changes is how it ends, where he's like doesn't want to kill him. Yeah. Literally everything else is the same. So, it could have still worked either way. But again, I mean, I didn't mind it as much as you, but I could see where you could make an argument where like, okay, if it wasn't, it's not that different. I could still be a 4 probably.
Yeah, no, I give it a 4. Like, I don't know. I felt like if it wasn't, I think I would have gave a higher score because of the whole, it's more storyline. And like, I want to talk about it, but I feel like it's more storyline than character, traits. But I gave it a 4. I mean, a 4 across the board here. Okay, now action scenes. Scott, you take it over for action.
All right, so action scenes. Now on this one, I'm still thinking about it, and I think it's a 4 actually on this one. I think it's toned down some from the last. I mean, the last movie was like nonstop action all the time. This one has more story in it. They're separated a lot. The action in this one isn't as memorable to me. I mean, there's kind of like 3 big action scenes. There's the one with Will Smith and Ammo when they break in during that drug deal and then all that stuff goes down. There's the whole club scene where it goes into the chase where he's got the machine gun and the motorcycle. He's like, it's like an angry white man's basement up in here. And then you got the ending scene where where'd they go? Mexico? Yeah, I believe it was Mexico on this one with that whole big shootout at the end with all that. So I feel like it was more story on this one, a little bit toned back on like how much action there was. So I gave it a 4.
Okay. Nate, what you got?
A 5. I do not have a 4. I gave it a 5. I see what Scott's saying, and I will say this movie's backloaded with action. Like the first hour, the only action scene is the one in the raid. Yeah. Like where they're raiding the thing. Most of the action's in the second half of the movie. But I'll tell you why I gave it a 5. There's enough in that second hour where I like the quantity. The reason I gave it a 5 is the quality. Oh, there's also the driving scene at the beginning when he's trying to get to the hospital.
Yeah.
It's very well done and it looks great. And you could tell it's not Michael Bay directing it anymore. It has a different vibe. Like I love the way the colors that they use during the chasing at night on the motorcycles, that put the lights on the motorcycles so it kind of like front lights Will Smith's face, and the little machine gun is awesome. That whole chase is great. It ends with a freaking rocket launcher on a helicopter. Like it's big and loud and fun. And there's some great camera work. Alex, we've done this enough time. I'm a sucker for doing creative stuff with the camera. I love the drone stuff in this. Not just the shooting, but the way they use the drone, like in the action, like the little machine gun. But there's a shot that is great that I don't even remember from the first movie where the captain, she's like on the bottom floor and there's someone above her and the camera like turns and then she's like walking and shooting upward and it looks great. I was like, this is creative. This doesn't feel like a Michael Bay movie. And I really liked it. So I gave it a 5. And they each get like, especially that final, each ammo member gets like a cool spot. Like when the white dude grabs him, he's just like pop, 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 shooting him in the stomach. And Vanessa Hudgens is sliding around shooting people. Like I thought it was awesome. So I gave it a 5. I think it's as good or better than any of the action in the other ones. Maybe less than 2, but as good.
I will say this. I think the car sequence in part 2 was better. Still the best in so far in the 3. I'm not going to count 4 yet because we didn't watch it yet. But I say the car chase, Michael Bay still is reigning supreme so far with that highway scene. I agree. I gave it a 5. I enjoyed this because first, the beginning doesn't tell you if it's a baby scene. It sounds like it was a chase scene because they got helicopters and it was like, my only funny thing is I was laughing with Angelina because I was like, wait a minute. I never noticed this. I'm like, a Porsche on sand will never work. That car would be all over the place. The sand goes in that engine. It would have been done. So I thought that was really funny. But I mean, yeah, you had that sequence. But the reason why I gave it a 5, I don't know, Nate, maybe you agree, maybe not. But these two directors brought back like 90s action where Will Smith running on top of the truck and everything is exploding. It's like an Arnold shot. Remember when Arnold jumps and he grabs with like one arm?
CGI. It was like stuff exploding and people stuntmen jumping.
Yeah. It felt very 90s, like Will Smith like climbing each layer and there's like explosions behind it. He gets on the helicopter. That is so 90s action. And he's like one-handed holding. And then next thing there's 2 hands. And I'm like, okay. And I liked that. I was like, that's pretty cool. The scene with the motorcycle and they're together, like the Indiana Jones and the father, remember that when they're getting chased? That was what it reminded me of, Last Crusade. I thought it was good, a little bit longer than what I would have done with it, but I thought it was pretty fun. I thought it was, it was really fun with that because I don't know what more you could have done with that in that situation. The hand-to-hand fighting between father and son was really good. I think the set piece of the helicopter crashing down was a little far-fetched for me, but it was really good set piece. Like, when it crashes just a ball of flames, I'm like, man, no one could feel this heat. Like, damn, this thing is like super hot. Like, super hot. And my favorite scene is when Martin was like, don't let me die in the heat. My ass is cooking. He's like, pull me up, my ass is cooking. And then when they capture his son and he goes, I'm your Uncle Mike, I'm your Uncle Marcus or whatever the hell. And I started laughing. He goes, we'll talk about that when they take you in. I thought that was funny. But yeah, in terms of you're right. It's a modern take of Bad Boys with newer action. While it's the same action as 1 and 2, it's just shot with different eyes. And I thought it was very well, it was excellent done for two directors.
They have flair.
Yes, they did. And I hope if they do ever do a new one, I mean, Bad Boys 6 or wherever the hell we were up to, they add an actual driving sequence. I want to see how they can handle them in the highway, like a Michael Bay's highway, and see if it gets even longer and better, because they did a great job, especially them driving around in that beginning. Like, I was like, holy hell, like, you tore that car up. I was like, shit. But yeah, I give it a 5. I thought it was really well done. All right, storyline. Take it away, Nate.
Yeah, storyline. I thought it was really good. Again, I didn't love the storyline of part 2, and I ended up giving it the highest score, which still make me mad. But this one I feel like was actually good. I liked it. Again, I think the banter was good. I like the ammo team kind of being a reflection of them, almost like their old selves, their former younger selves, and them having to deal with being older, but still being cops, still, wanting to do it. I like the thing with Martin retiring. It added some, there's some good, dramatic scenes of Will Smith. I think Will Smith's actually really good in this movie, performance-wise. I love when he goes to his house and he's like, okay, one last time. He's like, you're not going to help me. He's like, I was at your bedside the whole time. I love that scene. I think it's good for these characters. And then he's just like, no. He's like, no, I'm not doing it. And then he puts him in his phone as quitter. That was kind of funny too.
No, that was
Every time
funny.
he calls
Yeah.
him just as quitter.
Yeah.
So even they can add humor to stuff that is a serious moment. So I thought it was very good. I gave it a 4. I like it. I think it's different than the first two while still feeling like a Bad Boys movie.
All right. What you got, Scott?
I gave it a step up from the last one. I gave it a 3. I think it's good. I like new characters added. Definitely put a good spin on everything. So it's not just the same old Marcus and Mike going after somebody, some drug dealer, I don't know, heroin in 2020 or whatever. So yeah, I gave it a 3. But then again, it's also a Bad Boys movie. So my score on it can't be, I couldn't give it a 4 because I was like, I'm here for action and I'm here to see banter and I'm here to see explosions. So, but yeah, it was a 3.
Okay. It's very interesting. So I gave the movie a 3. I thought it was a good movie, but I had a lot of problems with this movie. One was the son. I did not like that storyline. And I felt like the minute they found out it was his son, it was like everything he did was erased. He shot Captain Howard and it was just like, I'm going to take you in, son. When I'm going to I hate you. Before he wanted to kill his son and I understand it's your son and blah, blah, blah. But I just felt like this movie, there's no ramifications for all the damage this guy did. He killed everybody up in here. Oh, yeah. He even killed the captain. And it was just like a slap in the wrist. And I don't know. I just felt like it was just like.
Was it? Didn't they send him to a maximum security prison?
No, but what I mean is it was just. Yeah, but
it's not a slap on the wrist. I think you mean from the character perspective. But what was he going to do?
That's what I mean. I'm not talking about storyline, because storyline, I mean, they were going to do whatever. But I'm just talking about I don't know. I just felt like it's a. That's what I'm saying. Like when you do a storyline like this and you introduce the son killing all these people and then they kill a father to them and it's like, oh, he's the son. Like, huh? I get it, but I don't know. I just felt like I don't know. It's just something I just never, I don't know. And he's like a super soldier, this dude. This dude was a straight super soldier. I guess he was, I don't know. They never talked about what his training was. They never talked about none of that stuff. This dude knew how to snipe, know how to shoot. Dude knew how to drive and shoot. I mean, his hand-to-hand skills were way 10 times faster and way better than all these dudes. I mean, I get it. She lied to him saying that he's not the father, and then she put a hit list. But I just felt like, I don't know, I felt like this is where you needed the entire ammo team against him. If you're going to go down this route. I mean, and again, it was very safe ending, right? Like he gets shot and he's like, I'm gonna take care of you. You know, I'm gonna be there for you. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. like, well, how is it gonna feel like for everyone else to find out it was like you said? And I don't know. I just felt like, and then like everything else is like, it was like a 3-story arc in one movie, right? So you have Marcus's retirement, which it was way too short in this movie. Way too short. While it felt longer, but it felt kind of short. It would have been awesome if he showed up towards the end to help him. Like, he couldn't take it no more. Like, Reggie's in the army, so Reggie could have dropped him off at Mexico. Could have did something cool with that, you know? But I felt like that retirement thing was like very short. But then you had a lot of comical pieces around it, which was funny with him and his son, his grandson in the back seat of the car. And then they had to drop it off at the spa. So, like, that was funny stuff. And then the dead guy lands on their car. I thought that was funny. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. But I don't know. I just felt like the storyline in this one, while 2 was kind of, I didn't like 2 as much. This one was better. I just felt like for me, it was ironed out more. I just wish it was never his son. Like, at the end of the day, or never revealed it until the second movie or something. I don't know. I just felt like it was just too safe. It was just like, oh, he's my son. Now I can't kill him. I can't do nothing. I don't know. I just felt like, I don't know. I don't
know why it bothers you so much. I don't get it. Like,
it bothers me. Like, I don't know why.
He got a son.
It bothers me.
Why is that
I just hate it. But anyway, I gave it a 3. Damn.
Damn, son. Why?
Stupid son storyline. A 3. All right, overall, take it away, Scott.
I gave it a 4 overall. I think it's a great addition to the franchise. It wasn't weak by any means. Keeps the bad boy strong. I did want to say this. I did shed a tear. Mike was sitting there trying to, I know I see Alex over there. He's just shaking his head. When Mike was like, he's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm trying to penetrate his soul with my heart. And I was like, ooh.
My God, no way.
I did. I
thought that was funny.
It was a little, no. I mean, the one where Marcus is trying to do that with a crackhead is funny, but like the one where he's trying to do it with his own son, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. Yeah, and he's just like, he's all beaten up and everything. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm trying to penetrate his soul with my heart. And I was like, oh. But anyway, yeah, I gave it a 4.
You're about to be fired as an intern.
This is your last.
You were crying at Bad Boys for like, you're about to be fired.
I thought you were gonna say, "Oh, I shed a tear when Captain Howard got shot and he was holding him." I'm not gonna lie, I got a little eye watery. But then to say that during that part, he getting his ass whipped, his son. Oh my!
Hey, all right, that's good. Good for you. You know, you gotta let out your tears sometimes. I gave it a 4 as well. I think this is the best Bad Boys movie of the first 3. You know, I can't say the franchise because I have not rewatched the fourth one since the theater, so I don't remember. But I think this one is the best overall movie of the 3. I do. I think the first one's the funniest for me. I think the second one has the most action. And I think this one is the best balance. It's not freaking 3 hours long. It has like a perfect runtime, good action, good new characters, good chemistry, cool direction. Like I said, a lot of cool shots that I think it feels fresh. It looks very Miami. I mean, as someone who's like in Florida, I think they nailed the look of like Miami a little better than Bay. He used a little too much like orange kind of filters just to make it look like sunny and hot. Whereas here, Miami's a very colorful place. So I think they did a better job. So yeah, I gave it a 4. I like this movie a lot. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I enjoyed this movie. I think this is the best movie out of the 3 so far. While I think part 2 had the best soundtrack of the 3 with the P. Diddy's.
With the P. Diddy's.
Shaking tail feathers.
Yeah, shaking tail feather. I don't know. I think that had the best. Part 2 had the best soundtrack, but part 3, I think you're right. I think it's the best well-rounded Bad Boys movie. I guess if you're saying it right, yeah. Like that's the way I see it, and I enjoyed it for what it was. At the end of the movie, I was like, you know, this is actually pretty good. While I hate the damn son storyline, I was like, you know what? it was pretty entertaining. So
You know what it's like, Alex? It's like those video games where there's like a fighting video game and you have the one character who's the strongest and you have the one that's the fastest and then you have the one that's balanced. This is like the balanced one.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
You know what? That's actually makes sense.
It's not as fast as 2. It's not as strong as 1, but it's better across the board overall. It's like a good package. Oh, total points I had 22 out of a 25.
All right. What you got, Scott?
20 out of 25.
I got 21.
Playing in the same ballpark tonight.
Yeah.
20, 21, 22. I was surprised. When I tallied this up, I was like, dang. But I mean, I liked it. I thought it was really good. Really fun.
All right, Nate, what is coming up next on Zippercus?
All right. Coming up next, we're continuing on with Denzel Washington action movies with a little movie called Safe House that I only remember the trailer for before watching this. And I said that in the last podcast. And it's only because of a song which plays on the end credits of the movie. So we'll talk about that when we review that. And then the week after that, or the episode after that, we'll be wrapping up the Bad Boys franchise with Bad Boys. What is it? Ride or Die. Ride or Die. Bad Boys, what you gonna do? No, Bad Boys Ride or Die, the 4th and final, at this moment, installment of the Bad Boys franchise.
All right. There you guys have it. Scott, thank you so much for being your last episode.
Thanks for all you've done. You're fired.
Thanks for all you've done for these 3 episodes. This is the last episode you'll be joining us. No jokes. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, you guys want to follow us on our social media accounts, please follow Nate over on Instagram at Netflix Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called Netflix Movie Reviews. Anything Action Movie Guys, head over to youtube.com/Action Movie Guys. Subscribe, leave comments on your favorite episode, and take us on the go with the Action Movie Guys podcast, available on all podcast platforms. And again, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok under Geeks, the letter N Flicks. I'm your host, Ash Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
And that is Scott the Intern. Be awesome to each other and geek out.